friends. Appreciate your being regular, sincere to learn from our Shastras all the beautiful knowledges to live a very fruitful, noble life. The only submission is continue it. Let nothing deter you from this beautiful endeavor. Prayers also together to the Lord. Friends, like every day, today we have seven things to do of common sense thought, of Sankalpa, of Sahanavavatu mantra, Vedic chanting. Second Mandalam will conclude today, and Bhagavad Gita, very subtle thought. What we saw yesterday, we'll conclude that. We take up the next subject to study. Then we have the Taittiriya Upanishad, Daivi Samagnya, two things we study today. Then Hanuman Ravana Samvada, Ravana orders to burn Hanumanji's tail, how Hanumanji receives it positively and uses even that also for doing Rama Karya. So these are all very highly evolving knowledges. We have to learn. That's how we grow. Only in the knowledge when we grow, we save ourselves and we evolve ourselves. Friends, among these seven things, the first thing is the common sense thought today. Today's common sense thought is very quick. That recognize the impurities and remove those impurities, make oneself pure and use that purity. Right? Now, first, the intellectual impurity is ignorance and delusion. Not knowing exactly every time the things, therefore getting confused. है ना? Whether it is in your vyavahara, whether it is in your professions, whether it is in spirituality, when the intellect is ignorant, that is its problem, impurity. And therefore, that intellect is deluded. So, an example in your own house, when the parents do not know the relation of with the children and how to bring them up, not knowing that is ignorance. So, they come under delusion. So, too, when the wife and husband also do not know what exactly as me as husband or me as a wife have to be. If that knowledge is not their intellect, so that impure intellect will have the delusion. So the wrong way the relation is established. Therefore, instead of eking out wonderful happiness and joy, they fight with each other. So too the boss subordinate. So too I with my nation, I with my religion, Sanatana Dharma, I with the Prakriti there, I with my friends, relations. Everywhere, intellect, if it is diseased or impure, because of the ignorance, सब कुछ चौपट हो जाता है. And in Vedantic terminology, it is the intellectual ignorance is the cause for the entire samsara. Ignorance causes the delusion. Seeing not which is not there, seeing that which is not there. These two are intellectual weaknesses, you call them, diseases, you call them, impurities, you call them. Then, what is the mental impurity? The mind's impurities are feelings misplaced, love misplaced, value misplaced, respect, etc. misplaced is called as the mind's delusion, mind's impurity, isn't it? What is sacred, what is glorious, what is good, towards that we don't have the feelings. Therefore, we have feelings only for the non positive. We have no feelings of love, respect for a good glass of milk or buttermilk. But we have for the tea, coffee, or even the drinks. See that emotional impurities wherein we misplace our likings and feelings. That is the impurity of the mind. है You have to love your studies when you are a student. But your feelings are to all those things by which all your faculties are disturbed, destroyed. Thereby you become ineffective for study. But still you have feelings for that. You feel to go with your friends, you feel to go for some other enjoyments, you feel to watch TV, you feel to sleep. These are all mind's impurities. Misplaced feelings is called the impurity of the mind. Feeling of love, feeling of value, feeling of respect. Like in spirituality, I have to feel for my guru and his teachings. I have to feel for the Shastra and for its teachings. I have to feel for the loftiness of the spiritual goal. How can I feel my emotional attachment to the things of the world, the beings of the world, the situations of the world, the experience of the world, which are binding me, which are causing misery to me? But in my ignorance of the intellect, give a chance to my mind to misplace the feeling. This is called as the mental impurity, which weakens us, which exhausts us. Therefore, we are not effective in the good doings. Right? Third one is the indriya impurity. In the indriyas also, the too much of seeking, cravings for the unwanted wrong things. They are all the impurities in the senses that controllessly, limitlessly, they crave, they seek. And with that, they exhaust the mind also, they misguide the intellect also. The impurity of the senses. The impurity of the body is drowsy, lazy, lethargic, non moving, not wanting to work, just sleep, sit one place. These are all the physical impurities. So you and I as a persons, with such personality, intellectual impurity, mind's impurity, impurity of the senses, impurity of the sharira, one cannot perform properly his own duties. First thing. Then how can you expect him to have some worldly goals and reach? And how can we expect from that person to be a servant of the world, seva? Then how can we expect from that person the devotion to the Lord or seva to the Lord Paramatma? After all these heights are scaled, the last one of the spiritual study of Shastra, spiritual inner deeper sadhanas, and spiritual escalations of the higher truth will be good for nothing at all these levels when we have all these impurities. Therefore, we have to rectify them. Same thing. The impurity of intellect is removed by the knowledge. Always seek the correct, complete, authentic knowledge. There is no replacement for knowledge. Basically, that's why we are in the class, giving you the knowledge about the truth also, knowledge about maintaining the personality also, knowledge about the dharma, dharma, vyavahara also. जितना ज्ञान पाओगे उतना अंतःकरण बुद्धि शुद्ध हो जाता है. According to that only, the purity of the mind is feel for the higher things, feel for the greater things, feel for the nobler things, feel for the evolutions. Don't feel for those things or beings or experiences which definitely are going to destroy us. We have to change. These are all requires lot of understanding, lot of discipline, lot of hard work and hardship. Most importantly, lot of tyaga, sacrifice you have to do of the wrong things for good. It's a good tyaga. It's a worthy, what do you call, transaction or worthy sacrifice. त्याग तो करना ही पड़ेगा नहीं. Like this class you have to attend, you have to do the त्याग of the other things. नहीं तो you can't get the thing. For any time to get the matter, You have to do the tyaga of the lower. You students to get good ranks and marks, you have to do the tyaga of your extrovertedness, excessive sleep, etc. तो इसी तरह से इन सब को करने में हमें फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग, सेकंड डिसिप्लिन्ड लाइफ, थर्ड हार्डशिप्स, फोर lot of sacrifices we need to do, and that's all good transaction only, good business only. It's all for our good. So too the impurity of the senses. Slowly, one by one sense organ, we have to quieten, control, make a habit of using it for the positive purposes only. So to the body, keep it healthy, give it good food, but don't feed it over. Don't make it remain lazy. It's a very worst habit. The one who's bodily lazy, mind, senses, intellect, all of them become dull-witted. That is why in the good olden days, even the Rishi Muni, even though they stay in ashramas, they do all their work, of creating those grains or सब्जियां उगाना खुद ही करते थे. Not that 24 घंटे they sit for meditation. नहीं हो सकता किसी से. Their 4-5 hours of physical work they do. They have the flower gardens for the flowers to use for the puja. They have the cows for the milk, etc. to take out for the yajna and all. They make the cow dung cakes for some physical activity. They plow the land, they grow the vegetables and all required. कोई निकम्मा नहीं होते हैं. इतना भी स्पिरिचुअल है. The type of work may change, but work one has to at the physical level. The ones who are not knowing this, they do the workouts of exercises, etc. अपने ड्यूटी रेगुलरली करने वाले को फिजिकली ये फिजियोलॉजिकल आउटर एक्सरसाइज बहुत कम चाहिए. बट नेवर वी वर्क फिजिकली, इसलिए बॉडी पूरा गेटिंग ऑल डिसीज. देवर डॉक्टर रेकमेंड्स यू वॉक रीचिंग नोवेयर ओनली टू द बाथरूम. You do the bull work like a bull, you have to work, but the bull worker is given to you. These are all for a modern ignorant man. Then ancient intelligent man अपने घर गृहस्थी का सारा काम करते करते उनका सारा फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज होता है. बॉडी इज नॉट अलाउड टू बिकम लेजी. हाँ, 4 बजे 5 उठो, पूरा घर साफ करो, डेली अपना कपड़ा धो लो, बर्तन धो लो. होल बॉडी इज ऑलवेज एक्टिव. You don't need to do any other exercise. Go to market, get the things, do the cooking at home by yourself. And have some nice 5-6 plants at home, water them every day, take care. I'm just telling. So physical impurity of laziness by activity, senses impurity of indulgence by self-discipline, mental impurity is changed by having feelings for positive things, intellectual impurity is removed by the knowledge. With all these purities, first finish your duties, second have your ambitions and goals and achieve personal, thereafter have the goal for serving the world, then the goal of worshipping the Lord, then the ultimate goal of spiritual truth. This is how we have to intelligently know and live and learn, live and grow in our life. Right? Thank you. Om Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shanti Mapniyat Shanto Muccheta Bandebhyaha Muktaschanyan Vimochayat Asatoma Sadgamaya Tapasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Om श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. ओं परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तं ब्रह्मात्मैक्य मोदेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव कैवल्यमोक्षप्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणेतिहास सन्तवाङ्मयोक्तसाध्यसाधनानुभवसिद्धि तत्रोक्त ऋषिमुनिगुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रहणप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकैन्दवसंस्कृतेः साम्प्रदायानां शास्त्राणां मोक्षमार्गाणां गुरुशिष्यभक्तभगवत् परम्परादीनां पुनरुत्थानजागरण विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति एकता शांति पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थं सनातन धर्म संस्थापने कंकणबद्ध अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां पूर्णायुरारोग्यैश्वर्य क्षेमस्थैर्य धैर्य वीर्यादि समस्त शक्ति संपदा सानुकूलता साधनानां प्राप्ति बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिवकृष्णादि समस्त मंदिराणाम् आश्रमाणां पुण्य दिव्य क्षेत्राणां विश्वविद्यालयादीनां पुनर्वाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययन अध्यापन उपासना साधना सेवा दीनान् द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातनधर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यन्तर शत्रूणां शाश्वतरूपेण समूल निर्मूलनार्थं भारतवर्षे विश्वे च वैदिक-हैन्दव-संस्कृतेः सुसम्प्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थं विश्वे मोक्षधर्मपुरुषार्थ प्रतिष्ठाद्वारा विश्वसंरक्षणाभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां युवानां संकल्पितसत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयार्थं तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मभक्ति भगवद्भक्ति देवता गुरुशास्त्र सत्संग साधना सेवा माता पितृ देश धर्म सनातन धर्म भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये शांति मंत्रोच्चारणं वेद पारायणं श्रीमद् भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय तैत्तिरीयोपनिषदः अर्थाविष्करणं मंत्रपारायणं श्री रामचरितमानसांतर्गत सुंदरकांड अध्ययन द्वारा श्री आंजनेय स्वामिन लंका यात्रा द्वारा जन्म साफल्य रहस्य अवगाहनम् वयं सर्वे विजयार्थं मोक्षार्थं जन्म साफल्यार्थं भारतवर्षार्थं सनातन धर्मार्थं विश्वकल्याणार्थं करिष्यामहे। फ्रेंड्स सहना भवतु। ओम 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 सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Vedic chanting 40, 41, 42. If these three we do, the second Mandalam will be over. Tomorrow we'll start Tritiya Mandalam. Om Ataveda Parayinam Rugvedaha Dvitiya Mandalam Chatvarimshattama Mantradharabhya Om Soma Pushana Jananarayinam Janana Divo Janana Prithivya Jato Vishwasya Bhuvanasya Gopau Deva Akrunvannamrutasya Nabhim Imau Devau Jayamanau Jushante Tamamsi Guhatamajushta Abhyamindra Pakva Mama Swanta Soma Pushabhyam Janadrusriyaso Soma Pushanarajaso Vimanam Saptachakram Ratamavishwaminvam Vishomrutam Manasa Yujyamanam Tam Jinvato Vrishana Pancharashmim Divyanya Chakra Ucha Prutivyamannyo Adhyantarikshe Tavasmabhyam Purvaram Purukshum Rayasposham Vishyatam Navimasme Vishwanyanyo Bhuvana Jajana Vishwamanyo Abhichakshana eti Soma Bhushanavavatandhiyam me Yuvabhyam Vishwaha Nutana Jayema Diyam Bhusha Jinvatu Vishwaminvo Rayim Somo Rayivatirtadhato Avatu Devyaditiranvara Ranarva Bruhadvadema Vidate Suviraha 41 Vayoyete Sahasrino Rata Saste Viragahi Niyutvan Somapitaye Niyutvan Vayavagahyayam Shukro Ayamite Gantasi Sunvato Gruham Shukrasyadhyagavashira Indravayu Niyutvadaha Ayatam Pivatannara Ayam Vam Mitra Varuna Sutta Somaruta Vrudha Mame Dihashrutam Havam Raja Navana Vidruha Dhruve Sadasyuttame Sahasrastuna Asate Ta Samraja Ghrita Sute Aditya Danunaspati Sachete Anavahvaram Gomadushu Na Satyashvavadhyatamashvina Varti Rudra Nupayam Nayat Paronantara Adadharshat Vrishanvano Vasu Dushan Somartyo Rivoho Tana Avolamashvina Rayim Pishanga Sandrusham Dishnavari Vovidam Indro Angamahad Bhayamavi Shadapa Chuchyavatu Sahistiro Vicharshanihi Indrashta Mudayati Nonana Prashchadagam Nashat Bhadram Bhavadina Purah Indra Ashabhyasvari Sarvabhyo Avayankarado Jeta Shatrun Vicharshanihi Vishve Devasa Agata Shrunutama Imam Havam Edam Barhirnishidata Tivro Vo Madhumaga Ayam Shunahotreshu Matsarah एतं पिबत काम्यम् इन्द्रज्येष्ठामरुद्गणा देवासः पूषरातयः विश्वेमम्र मम श्रुता हवम् अम्बितमे नदीतमे देवितमे सरस्वते अप्रशस्ता इव स्वसि प्रशस्तिमम्ब नस्कृतिः त्वे विश्वा सरस्वती श्रितायूंषि देव्यां शुनहोत्रेषु मत्स्व प्रजान् देवि दिदिढ्ढिनः इमा ब्रह्म सरस्वती जुषस्व वाचिनीवते या ते मन्मकृत्समदारुतावरि प्रिया देवेषु जुह्वते प्रेतां यज्ञस्य शम्भुवायुवामिदा वृणीमहे अग्निं च हव्यवाहनं द्यावानः पृथिवी इमं सिद्ध्रमद्य दिवि स्पृशं यज्ञं देवेषु यच्छताम् आवामुपस्तमद्रुहा देवाः सीदन्तु यज्ञियाः इहाद्य सोमपीतये कनिक्रदज्जनुषौ प्रब्रुवाण इयर्तिवाचमरितेव नावं सुमङ्गलश्च शकुने भवासि मात्वाका चिदभिवा विश्व्या विदतु 42 मात्वा श्येन उद्यद् उद्वधीन्मासु पर्णो मात्वा विदधिषु मान् वीरो हस्ता पित्र्यामनुप्रदिशङ्कनिक्र दत्सु मङ्गलो भद्रवादीव देह अवक्रन्द दक्षिणतो गृहाणां सुमङ्गलो भद्रवादी शकुन्दे मानः स्तेन ईशतमागशंसो बृहद्वदेम विदते सुवीराः प्रदक्षिणि दवि गृणन्ति कारवो वयो वदन्तरुतुता शकुन्तयः उभे वाचो वदति सामगा इव गायत्रं चतुरैष्टुभं चानु राजते उद्गातेव शकुने सामगायसि ब्रह्मपुत्र इव सवनेषु शंससि ऋषेव वाची शिशुमतिरपीत्या सर्वतो न शकुने भद्रमावद विश्वतो नः शकुने पुण्यमावद आवदगस्त्वं शकुने भद्रमावद तूष्णीमासीनः सुमतिं चिकिद्धिनः यदुत्पतन्वदसि करिर्यथा बृहद्वदेम विदते सुवीराः ॐ शान्तिः 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 इति द्वितीयमण्डलम् अथ तृतीयमण्डलं how many mandalas are there 10 mandalas are there so we are done the two mandalas tomorrow we'll do the tritiya mandalam in the tritiya mandalam how many mantras do we have let us see Anuvakas. One first Anuvaka one has 23 mantras. Okay. Not many, thank God. In this we have 62 mandalas. So 62 daily 5, it took 12 days we can do it. Thank you friends. Let's do our Bhagavad Gita. Om Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Gita Sharanam Mama Shri Vyasa Sharanam Mama Shri Sadguru Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Sharanam Mama Sharanam Mama Om Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसन्न्यासयोगः सप्तदश अष्टादशो मन्त्रौ श्रीभगवानुवाच Friends, the topic in the discussion is very, very important, very, very crucial, very, very sublime, very, very spiritual. What is it is? Ki, these are the 5 factors go into the happening of any of the actions, the karma. Though the self in me, the real self in me, is not the doer, but not knowing it. When one takes all the doings of these 5 things as his own doings, he is Durmati, he is the Akruta Buddhi, therefore he suffers the life. On the contrary, picture, if one recognizes himself, that state of self, which is not the doer, which is not the receiver of the phala. If one recognizes that state of being in oneself, thereafter, in the presence of that self, the functional individuality, even if it destroys the entire world also, he is not the destroyer, nor he'll get the sin and the result of sin of misery because of the destroying. So, how much we have to study Vedanta or become subtler to grasp this state of presence of the self. This is what being discussed by us in last 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 6 mantras. पंचैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम् अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता कारणं च पृथग्विधं विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टाः दैवं चैवात्र पञ्चमं शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यत् कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्याय्यं वा विपरीतं वा तत्र पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः तत्रैवं सत्कर्तारमात्मानं केवलं तु यः पश्यति अकृतबुद्धित्वात् न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः. Powerful, highest spiritual knowledge. That's why the name of this chapter is moksha. So, what is the state of moksha? What is the meaning of moksha? What is the experience of moksha? What is the sadhana of the moksha? Is this only to identify with that self in us who is not the karta, who is not the bhokta. Slipping from that, when the upadhis are doing karma, identifying with them, when we become karta and then we become bhokta, we have fallen to the trap of samsara. And it continues for millions of lives. Because of the karma phala, the chakra which works at that level. Like you are in the water, then you have to go down in the flow of the water. That's the nature of water. If you put the finger in the fire, it gets burnt. It's the nature. In the same way, once we have come to the level of karta bhokta jiva, bas, we are now karma phala, janma, marana. In that delusion, we go on continuing. It's like you get children, but whole life now you have to suffer as parents. You got married, whole life you have to suffer or enjoy or responsible as a wife or husband. If you join an office, whole life you have to go and do the service. Example दे रहा हूँ मैं इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि सब छोड़ो. The examples are to say that once you have become karta bhokta, then you have bound to be the jiva subjected to the janma marana, the entire samsara. Moksha is to realize I am the self. So then itne janmon ke vasana hai karma phala prarabdha, all that account you have to clear. Then you have to clean your house. From 10 years you have never tried that. How many thousands of unwanted things you have gathered in the house. Now one by one you have to sort out, sell out, throw out, then the house is clean. So too from many lives we made our life so miserable because of ignorances, vasanas, habits, indulgences, identifying with upadhis, becoming karta, becoming bhokta, even now also. अब ये तेल जो है कपड़े पे इतना चिपक गया कि उसको निकालने के लिए अब इतना डिटर्जेंट लगाना पड़ेगा. कोई लैब इतना डर्टी होता है तो टू वॉश इट ऑल्सो you have to apply the oil or the what do you call the detergents, chemical, so much that all is called sadhana. What is sadhana? Spirituality may using all cleaning materials to clean the dirt occupying, the dirt which is occupying. Remove the dirt, the inner original shine comes out. Nobody cleans the utensils or the clothes with the detergent because the clothes and utensils are always clean. Then what? That cleanliness is covered by the dirt. So the detergents, the washings, remove the dirt, thereby allowing the original inner cleanliness or shine. So too we are always originally the self. The dirt of all the kartrutva, bhoktrutva, every one of them are taken unto ourselves. So we are forgetting ourselves. All spiritual sadhanas are only to clean these dirts so that we shine out as the real self, which is mukta. I am that self which is neither karta nor the bhokta. हो गया मोक्ष. रियलाइज करना है उस सेल्फ को. बट ये इतना चिपक जाता है कर्तृत्व भोक्तृत्व भावना, है ना. लाइक व्हेन यू आर विद अ फ्रेंड फॉर 3 years 4 years एंड दोनों का अच्छा समझ आ रही, मित्रता भी बन गया मानो, छोड़ना ही मुश्किल होता है. So to are habituated to traveling in car or scooter, it appears to be impossible without them to travel. So to are habituated to electricity, electrical gadgets and all, लगता है इसके बिना हम जी नहीं सकते. So a type of foods, a type of drinks, a type of people, a type of activities, a type of indulgences. None of them are real or original, but they're all made as habits. To such an extent, लगता है हम उसके बिना जी नहीं सकते. And as I give the example for his back, as the addicts were addicted to the drinks and drugs or cigarettes, we all are addicted to be a jiva, addicted to be a karta and bhokta, addicted to use the upadhis, addicted to indulge in the world of shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha for the bhoga. How the counselors counsel the addict person to get de-addicted. So gurus, our gurus, our rishis are the ones through the shastras are counseling us, teaching us, you know, to de-addict ourselves from being a samsari, to be the self. This is what is the whole spirituality. An idea we are telling you, if you catch it, you are lucky. Then once the process starts, till the treatment is fully done, we have to go on to going through the treatment. तो ये मेंटल पेशेंट को ठीक करने के लिए कितने सिटिंग्स लगते हैं और वो कितना बिगड़ा है उसके से so to a physiological patient physical body how long it will take depending on the number of infections or diseases he has got. So, to how much thick ignorance, thick vasanas, thick habits, thick indulgences, thick desires, thick upadhi tadatmyas, thickness of kartrutva bhoktruta are there. To remove all of that, that many studies, that many contemplation, that many spiritual sadhanas are to be done for those many lives. So keep that in mind. In every life, I mean this life to remove some of my impurities. Next life, और थोड़ा, maybe in 50 जन्मों में, all impurities go away. I will be pure, immaculate. What is a purity, immaculation? Immaculate means I am the self who is not karta and bhokta. In my presence, they are all working. So तत्र एवं सति आत्मानं केवलं तु यः पश्यति अकृत बुद्धिवात् कर्तारं न स पश्यति दुर्मति. तत्र एवं सति केवलमात्मानं कर्तारम् इति यः पश्यति सः दुर्मति न पश्यति अकृतबुद्धित्वात्. And who is the Kruta Buddhi then? We saw yesterday the 17th mantra. That 2 times we'll chant, very powerful it is. Then the 18th mantra also we chant 4 times and we'll only give you the introduction. Tomorrow we'll study it. Nothing much to study in that. It's only the contents that's given for the further subject. Anyway, 17 and 18, 17th twice. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Yasya Naham Kruto Bhavaha बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वा विजयिमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावः बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वा विजयिमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते. Very important shloka it was. We'll study that only today also. Now the 18th one for our new chanting. श्रीभगवानुवाच श्रीभगवानुवाच ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञातः ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञातः ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञातः ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञातः त्रिविधा कर्मचोदना त्रिविधा कर्मचोदना त्रिविधा कर्मचोदना त्रिविधा कर्मचोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति करणं कर्म कर्तेति करणं कर्म कर्तेति करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः. टुगेदर श्री भगवानुवाच ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञातः त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः. अगेन ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञातः त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः. चैंटिंग तो हमने किया. Now let us study again this mantra 17 little more elaborately. So the literal meaning is this. Ki yasya na ahankrutah bhavaha. So the one in whom there is no I am the doer bhava. There is no I am the doer bhavana. Yasya na ahankrutah bhavaha. Yasya buddhi na lipyate. The one whose interaction or antakarana is not polluted by the karma phala asakti. Asakti to the karma phala. Buddhiriyasya na lipyate. Such person, not only doing small little works, but even through him, hatva abhisa iman loka, the entire world of beings, all of them, if he has done the drastic, worst, most negative work of killing them also, even if he does that, ईमान लोकान हत्वा भी पूरे लोक में रहने वाले सारे जीवों को मार कर भी न हंती इज नॉट द किलर न निबंधते he will not be put in jail or in naraka because therefore who makes the action doer who makes the happening as a doer it is the aham karta bhavana then who makes that the action giver of the result the phala shakti the one when he indulges in the phala is called bhokta. The karta bhokta is jiva samsari, bound person. So, therefore, be attentive. Hmm. Lot of things in this shloka, tens of them, many of them. One or two or three only we will try to see. One is what? When do we become not the karta? है ना? When we are doing, going on doing the kamya karma and papa karma, the karta will be inevitably strong in us. Therefore, when the kamanas we have given up, when the papa therefore we need not to do, then slowly the ahankarami will get reduced. So too, when we do the only our duties, dharma, nothing other than, then also our kartrutva has become limited only in doing the duties. Then when we know that this doing also we are doing because we are put by the samishti called as the Lord in this work. So as he is telling me, I am doing it. Then what happens? This doership gets shifted or transferred to the Lord. Like कोई murder किया मानो, so if he has done it by himself, punishment is capital. But somebody prompted him, somebody compelled him for some reason. Then the one prompted, compelled, though he is not the killer, but he will get the bigger punishment. Though this fellow has killed him, still his punishment will be less because his intention of wanting to kill is not there for him because he has nothing to gain for it from it by killing. Somebody else had lot of things to get, therefore he want to get him killed, so he employed that person. इन द रियल न्याय शास्त्र में जो कर्म का प्रेरक है उसको ज्यादा फल मिलता है देन द कर्म का कर्ता. Therefore, Krishna, when we first of all give up the desire, second give up the uh, karma which is papa and adharma nishiddha and kamya also because desires are not there. To that extent, the load of aham karomi goes away. Then further the ahankarta reduction happens when you do only the dharma karma, our own duties. Then that also we are doing because the Lord has put me there. So when we become the bhakta, then the action becomes devotion. Work becomes worship when the doer becomes devotee. So I am doing it, no doubt, but I am doing as told by the Lord. So who is the actual doer? The Bhagavan only. I am not the karta. Thereafter, from this standpoint, at this level, when the kartrutva is minimum in us, when we can focus our attention on Shuddha Chaitanya Atma in us and identify with it, then even that nominal kartatva of being an instrument in the hands of the Lord, that also goes away. Then na ahankaromi bhava comes there. In this way, gradually ahankarta we have to reduce. So, how to reduce the karma phala sakti or the bhoga? When we know that in the bhoga of the vastus there is only bondage. All the bhogya vastus and the bhoga from them is only a delusion. In fact, that happiness also is a reflected happiness of the pure inner self only. Therefore, I want the inner self bliss, not the outer. In this way, From all the outer things, when we withdraw, our phala shakti goes away. And the inner self, already we are that. So when we are in that, एक तो bliss आ भी गया, दूसरा और कोई चीज की जरूरत ही नहीं है, इसलिए उसको पाने के लिए कोई कर्म भी नहीं करना. Once this is settled, still at the body, mind, sense, intellect, ego level, actions happen, but they are not for me now. They are the blessings of the Lord through us to the world. A Jivan Mukta acts to serve the world as a blessing of the Lord through him. Such person पूरा world को भी मार दिया, he will not be a sinner because he is not the doer. The world is acting through him. The Lord is acting through him. So in this way, yasya na ahankrita vahavaha, yasya buddhi na lipyate. I am the doer is not there and it is for my result. Result is for me. The phala shakti is not there. Phala shakti क्यों होते हैं? When we are wanting to enjoy bhoga at the indriya, mana, buddhi level. When we know that real happiness is there in the Atma Vastu, when we seek it, then these are all fika fika. And the real sweet is in the sugar, no? Not in the sweets. In the sweets also the sweetness has come to them from the sugar. But for the sugar, the sweetness is its own nature. You cannot have a sweet without the sugar in it. You can never have a sugar without being sweet. So to every happiness is coming from the Atman, and the happiness is the nature of the self, Atma. So when I abide in that, I am in the bliss. So I don't want any outer thing. And will the sugar crave for sweetness? No, because it's no its own nature. So too, will the self crave for ananda? No, because its own nature. That self, when I realize, then I am not a seeker of sukha of the objects to the senses. Then I don't need to gain that object. Then I need not do the karma. Therefore, neither I am karta because not doing any karma, nor bhokta because I don't want for the. Still, I keep working in the world in the service of the world, not for any. I am in the bliss of the self. That's why a jnani becomes jivan mukta in this way by realizing his own self and not depending on anything in the outer world. That's the meaning of yasya na ahankritah bhavaha yasya buddhi na libhyate saha ima lokanatvapi nahanti na nivadyate. The powerful big topic of these four shlokas. As many times as possible, one can study to till the understanding becomes pakka thorough. Okay, now in 18th chapter, a new topic starts off talking about so many things in three gunas. First, in the 18th mantra, it is said, there are three things which prompt the karma, and there are three things which make the happening of karma. है ना? कर्म का प्रचोदन करने वाले तीन है, प्रेरक, कर्म को एक्चुअली करने वाले तीन है. That is what in this 18th mantra. And those three things are again three times because of three gunas. Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic. Let us be Sattvic only, even when we are doing Vyavahara. But the entire crux of all spirituality, all Vedanta, all Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita is the 17th mantra of chapter 18. 18/17 याद रखो. यस्य नाहंकृतो भावः बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते इमान लोका नत्वा विनहन्ति न निबध्यते. But the one who has got ahankartrutva bhava and phalasakti, in small little karma also he does, he is bound by the karma phala and janma marana and samsara. थोड़ा गौर से समझने वाली बात है ये. So the 18th mantra का अर्थ हम कल ही पढ़ेंगे ध्यान से. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 ही. Now let us do our Upanishad. Om Ada Shri Krishna Yajurvediya Taittiriya Upanishad Tritiya Bhrugu Valli Shanti Mandraha. Om Sahana Vavadu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ओम अथ दशमानुवाकः सदाचार प्रदर्शनम ब्रह्मानंदानुभवः च. Mitro, we are doing here in this last one Sadachara Pradarsanam, and then the Brahmananda will come. Sadachara Pradarsanam means Sat Achara, means the Upasana sadhanas to see the Sat Brahma in everything, changing our drushti from absolutely forgetting the substratum Brahman, and giving reality to the say, projected things. From this, the ability to see the Brahman everywhere. That practice we have to do. So the two things are told as the general Sadachara, food and accommodation. Thereafter, the Manushi and Devi Samyak Agnyas Shrutimata is telling us to understand, do. So the Manushi Samagnya 5 we have seen. Kshemayiti Vachi, Yoga Kshemayiti Pranapanayo, Karmiti Astayo, Gatariti Padayo, Vimuktiriti Payo. Then we are studying last 3 days the Devi Samagnya. Means what is the Agnya by the Rishi and Gurus for doing the Brahma Upasana in the world war, which is happening in front of us. So first was Truptiriti Vrishtav. The Brahman is acting as the Vrishti in the Trupti. As a Trupti in the Vrishti, sorry. Brahman is acting as the Trupti in the Vrishti. In the rain as the Trupti. Therefore, when we also rain the Trupti within us and the world around, then we are allowing the Brahman to express through us. Truptiriti Vrishtav. In the same way, Balamiti Vidyuti. Bhagavan expressing as the power in the electricity. So when we also become empowered and use that power correctly, when you also empower the world in correct manner, then we are allowing the Brahman to express through us. This is called Vidyut me Brahma ke Bala ke Roop me Brahma ka Upasana. We have to say in the Vidyut Bhagavan is there as the Balam. So therefore the Bhagavan presence in me in the world is in the roop of the Bala, the strength, the positive strength, positive utilization of the strength. Then Yasha iti Pashushu. Brahma Tattva is there in the Pashugana as the Yasha. So the richness rightly utilized. Like somebody has 100 cows. But not even a liter milk also he is giving in charity to anyone. There's no yasha to that person. They say इतना काउ तो है इनका इतना दूध तो होता है बट सब बेचते हैं वो भी ब्लैक में वगैरह किसी को थोड़ा दूध भी नहीं देते अपयश विल भी होगा लेकिन say only one cow is there it gives only 3 liters milk 2.5 liters he is giving to a temple or a garib only half liter it is using for himself you do the yasha of that person यार सारा इतना दान करता है so the pashu means all prosperity and richnesses yasha means utilizing it in the for service of the world in that way by having riches and using it for service of the world when we do the yasha the name and fame the respect the welcome all of them happen to us and that is brahman yasha iti pashushu means when you have pashu sampada or any sampada use it for getting positive name and fame and how do you get positive use and name and fame when you use them for the service not for selfishness है ना 1000 गाय लेकिन अपयश 2 गाय और 1 गाय फिर भी यश बिकॉज 1000 गाय में सेल्फिश है वो पर्सन 1000 गायों के साथ दिस इज वन काउ बट स्टिल इज सेल्फलेस therefore yasha comes selfless means serving so all what we are given is to serve the world when we do so the yasha will come when the yasha is there we are always happy that is the expression of the brahman yasha iti pashushu ऐसे देखो then yesterday was a Jyotiriti nakshatreshu in all the stars and sun and moon and planets and fire and lightning. In the form of Jyoti, Parabrahma is there. Therefore, have the light of wisdom in you, you make right use of it, and let make anyone light or wisdom yukta. Don't keep the people ignorant to for your selfishness to cheat them. है ना द कनिंग चीटिंग फेलोस लोगों को अंधकार में इग्नोरेंस में रखते हैं उनको चीट कर सकते हैं ना इसलिए अपने स्वार्थ के लिए very dangerous it is then it is not the expression of the brahman the reality so jyotiriti nakshatra enlighten everyone give the knowledge to everyone let them live the knowledge and then be happy in life that way we are doing Jyoti Prachara, Jnana Jyoti Prachara. Then the Jnana Jyoti, when it's lit everywhere, like Deepavali is the next festival for us. Today is 22, 9 days after. So Deepanam Avali means every Pramida or every of those lamps should have the lamp that. So to every individual is like the mud patra. In that everybody should have the lamp of knowledge. And Jyoti se Jyoti Jagati Chalo. Each one go on passing the knowledge, not ignorance. Passing the value oriented life based on knowledge, not selfish life based on the ignorance. हमने दिया जलानी है जिंदगी में हर जगह, ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, प्रेम के गंगा बहाते चलो. You understood? That was the Jyotiriti Nakshatreshu. You know, when the more Jyoti or knowledge we have, we will be as big as nakshatra. The nakshatras have the power even to guide or direct the movement of the entire solar system. If the Jyoti is reduced in us, we become Jugnu, which is not sufficient for its own life. Jugni ki Jyoti, nakshatra ki Jyoti. फर्क है कि नहीं दोनों में? Our Jugnu like Jyoti is this much knowledge how to maintain my selfishness, how to fill my belly, how to earn the money by cheating others. इसी चीज़ों का मेरे को knowledge होता है. जुगनू से भी छोटा. But if our knowledge is about the truth and to serve the world, we are as big as star and superstar. That's the expression of Brahman. Jyotiriti Nakshatreshu. Be a star to spread the light of wisdom, then you are allowing Brahman to express through you. Two more are there. Today one we'll see, tomorrow one. Prajatiramrutamānanda ityupaste. Prajatiramrutamānanda ityupaste. तो उपस्था में ऑर्गन ऑफ जेनिटल ऑर्गन में these three things के रूप में ब्रह्मन expresses. What is prajati? Second is amruta. Then third, because of these two, the anand. Prajati means English fellow also stolen from Sanskrit only. Prajati, he calls as progeny. Prajati. Jani also English word का Sanskrit है वो. Jani means janma. So upastha used for the continuation of that particular prajati, so that the world is full of life all the time. And that prajati, we attend, born children are brought up so beautifully, so value oriented, so much selfless, with full of wisdom. Then that prajati, because of this man, earlier people and children, becomes amrita rupa, immortal nectarine only. And in that way, having the amrita rupa prajati is called as ananda. In that way, Brahman expresses through the upastha. Upastha is not for the ananda. Upastha is for amrita swarupa prajati creation. And in that, have the ananda. You know, I have created the children, one or two, who are so much great to serve the world. You are ananda now. Then your creation of the child has become fulfilled, and in that ananda born out of amrita, born out of prajati, Brahman is expressing. उपस्था में प्रजाति अमृत आनंद के रूप में परब्रह्म है. ऐसा उपासना करो, फिर ऐसा ही काम भी करो. बस one or two children and whole life is spent in bringing in them up so that they become useful to the society in million ways. We have thousands of ways to be a contributor to society, but we only are consumers doing nothing. That's all tamoguna. हमको तो कितने पहलुओं में, कितने क्षेत्र में विश्व का सेवा कल्याण करना चाहिए. As a human being, so many ways we can. In that way, our creative energy has to be used after creating one or two children. Let us not waste that creative power on the name of bhoga in the indulgences. You have created prajati, yeah. You are making that created prajati amrita, yeah. Find the ananda in that. Your upastha energy should no more be anyway wasted otherwise. Conserve that vital energy, use for making the created children creative, useful for the world. That's a very sublime truth here. So, उपस्था का इस तरह से उपयोग करने से वहाँ ब्रह्म का अर्थ एक्सप्रेशन. In fact, Brahma is there in the upastha to give us ananda only for amrita रूपी प्रजा क्रिएट करने के लिए. only maximum 2, one boy, one girl. Depending on the population, sometime maybe 3 or 4. The progenital power is given for not Ananda, but for Prajati and Amrita. And to inspire us to have do the Prajati and Amrita Rupi Prajati creation, in that the Ananda is kept by the Lord. ना उस प्रोजेनिटल सुख क्यों रखा भगवान ने? उस सुख के लिए, स्लेव बनने के लिए नहीं. दैट्स ओनली ए फ्री बी, ए चॉकलेट. बट द गोल इज व्हाट? प्रजाति अमृता. कंटिन्यू योर जनरेशन एंड योर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन इज ब्रॉट अप सो ग्रेट बाय यू. You know, when you make a house, then you have to spend time to maintain the house. So you got children, you have to spend energy to bring them up. For that, again, that upastha shakti is to be used. How? By not wasting it in any indulgences. That way. So Prajati Amrita Ananda Ittipaste. Okay. Last one is there. Tomorrow we'll see that. What a simple one. Then all the 4 we just revise. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now क्या हुआ कल तुलसी रामायण में? ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः. श्री जानकी वल्लभो विजयते. श्री रामचरितमानस पंचम सोपान सुंदर कांड. When he shouted, "Why don't you go and kill this fellow?" Rakshasas ran towards Hanumanji to kill him. Same time, with the mantris, Vibhishanji comes. First, he does salutations to his brother, takes permission, and teaches lot of the Niti Vakyas. Among them, in the present context, the important one is Hanuman is a Duta. Duta should not be killed. It is Niti Virodha. It is against the policy. Then give some other punishment. When that was it, Ravana asked the opinion of others also. He is a diplomat, he is a politician ना, उनको पार्टी अपना मेंटेन करना है तो कोएलिशन जो भी है उनका भी राय लेना पड़ता है. So he just put across all these words, Vibhishana's suggestion. What do you say? All of them also liked that idea. सबने कहा मंत्र भला भाई. What is that? Don't kill the Duta, but give some other punishment. Then Ravana thought. He said, Anga Bhanga Kari Pataya Bandara. You just make him handicapped, then send back. And which part of him to be cut? He himself thought. Ravana. He said, the Vanaras use and love their tail more than anything. Therefore, burn that tail. Tail. तेल लगा के टेल को जला दो. हिंदी वाला तेल लगा के इंग्लिश वाला टेल को लगाओ. टेल को जलाओ. So tela bori pata bandi puni, then dehu pavaka dehu lagai. So that is what yesterday we saw. 24th one. Then he says why he gave this punishment to Hanumanji. That portion of 24th Doha, then next Chaupai. Let us chant, friends. Start. Om Atha Chaturvimshatitama Doha and also the Chaupais. कपि के ममता पूछ पर सबहि कहूँ समुझाई. तेल बोरी पट बांधि पुनि पावक देहु लगाई. पूंछहीन बानर तह जाई तब सठ निज नाथ ही लई आई. जिन कई कीन्हि सि बहुत बढ़ावा देखो मैं तिन्ह कई सॉरी जिन कई कीन्हि सि बहुत बढ़ाई देखौ मैं तिन कै प्रभुताई. बचन सुनत कपि मन मुसुकाना भई सहाय सारद में जाना. जातु धान सुनि रावण बचना लागे रचय मूढ़ सोई रचना. रहान नगर बसन घृत तेला बाढ़ी पूंछ कीन्ह कपि खेला. कौतुक कहाँ आए सुरबासी न करहि बहुहासी. बाजहि ढोल देहि सब तारी नगर फेरि पुनि पूछ प्रजारी. पावक जरत देखि हनुमंत भयो परम लघु रूप तुरंता. निबुक चढ़ऊ कवि कनक अटारी भई सभीत निशाचर नारी, निमुखि चढ़ेउ कपि कनक अटारी, भई सभीत निशाचर नारी, हरि प्रेरित तहि अवसर, चले मरुतौ न चास, अट्टहास करि गर्जा, कपि बड़ि लाग आकाश, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. These studies reveal so much of story for our enjoyment, knowledge also for our betterment. You should have the art maturity to learn all. So क्या कहा वहां कि कवि के ममता पूछ पर, the monkeys love the tail. सबही कहूं समझाई, हो मैं बता रहा हूं सब लोगों को कि द monkeys love the tail. Therefore तेल भोरी पटा, पटा कपड़े clothes, तेल means oil, भोरी means डुबा के, तेल भोरी पटा, then बांदी पुनी, tie all those oiled clothes to his tail. पुनी पावक देहु लगाई, then give the fire to it, अग्नि. So तेल में कपड़े डुबाकर tie it to his tail and then burn that kapda, with that the tail also will burn. But why this punishment? What do you want to achieve? Ravana says in the next chaupa. He says, Punchahi na banaratah jaihi. So with the burnt tail, the Vanara will go to that place. Which place? Taba Tabasat Nijanatahi lai aihi. He'll go to the place from where he came. Then he will bring his own Natha. Tabasat Nijanatahi lai aihi. He will bring his own Swami. He will go to the place from where he came, where he sent from the Swami. Then he will bring that his Swami or his Natha, जो भी है जिनके बारे में कहा, then what will happen? जिनके कीने से बहुत बड़ाई. How much glorification this Hanuman has done about his Natha. That 1,000 Shankara, Vishnu and Brahma also cannot protect you, Ravana. And he is Karunamaya and he is so powerful. So much Gunagana Mahima the Hanuman Vanara has done of his Swami. He will bring him, then we'll be able to see him. Then जिनक्याई कीने से बहुत बड़ाई, देखो मैं तिनकई प्रभुताई, let him come. Then I will see what is his power, etc. बहुत बोल रहा था, क्या महात्मा है, महिमा है, क्या ग्रेटनेस है इनके स्वामी का, आने दो, I will know it. मैं देखूंगा कौन क्या पावर है, जिसने इतना बोला ना हनुमान ने, क्या वो ट्रू है, लेट मी सी इट. आप देखो इंटरेस्टिंग वचन सुनत कपि मनम उसुकाना. Listening to all these words of order of Ravanasura, Hanumanji smiled inside his mind. आउटसाइड तो एक्सप्रेस नहीं करना, मन में वो मुस्कुरा है, खुशी खुश हो गए, उनको डर दुख नहीं लगा कि मेरे पूछ को जलाए. ही नोज माय फादर भाई देव, वो तो सब क्वाइट कर देंगे. सो वचन सुनता कपि मन मुस्कुराना. एंड व्हाट इज इन हिज नॉलेज कि भई सहाय सारदमय जाना. He understands Saraswati Devi ji also is now helping in Sri Rama Karya. That she entered the Ravana's mouth and made him give this order of burning my tail. है ना? The Saraswati Devi ka another appearance in Ramayana is when Kumbhakarna does the tapasya. All devatas tell, yaar ye Ravana already tapasya karke such a huge terrible varas he asked for, in which alone so much of dukkha is there for us. If Kumbhakarna also asks such powerful vara, हमारा तो फिर नामो निशान नहीं रहेगा. So they all request Mata Saraswati. Then she enters Kumbhakarna's mouth and makes him ask Brahmadeva the vara for what? 6 months sleep, one day wake up to eat food. एक दिन उठकर खाएगा वो, फिर 6 महीने सोता है. 6 महीने उठेगा नहीं, फिर उठेगा तो 6 महीने नहीं उठेगा, एक ही दिन. But one day eats so much and is busy in eating only. By the time finishes eating, the day is over and he is now going to sleep. Mata Saraswati makes him ask that moon. हनुमान जी थिंक्स कि यहाँ भी माता सरस्वती हेल्प कर रही है by making Ravana think and order to burn my tail. Welcome, accepted. So, भाई सहाय सारदमय जाना. Then what happened naturally? Jatudana means all the Yatudanas, the Rakshasas. Suni Ravana Vachana. They have to obey the orders of Ravana. Fir lage rachaye mudha sui rachana. That's all Mudha Dushta people started planning to execute the orders given by the Swami, the Lord, their Lord, the Ravanasura. So Mudha sui rachana rachai lage. Same planning they were doing to execute the orders given by Ravanasura. They are deluded because they are his Swami, they are his servants. तो क्या किया वो लोगों ने फिर रहान नगर भसन कृत तेला सो क्या हुआ बाड़ी पूंछ कीन है कपि खेला कपि खेला खेला पूंछ बाढ़ी कीन खेल खेल में ओनली स्पोर्टिंग में हनुमान जी has increased the size of his tail so much that to tie to the entire tail from the entire Lanka. Remember कि Rahana Nagara Basana Ghrita Tela. Basana is the Vastra, Ghrita is the ghee, Tela is the oil. All the clothes that are there in Lanka are utilized to dip in all the ghee and oil that was available. And they used it to tie to Hanumanji's puncha. सारे खत्म हो गए. No more cloth remaining, no more ghee is remaining, no more oil is remaining anymore. All of that is used to tie to Hanumanji's tail. That means to such a big size Hanumanji has grown his poonch. Rahana Nagara Basana Ghrita Tela Badi Pooncha Kinha Kapi Kela Kapi Pooncha Badi Kinha Kela. तो हनुमान जी ने अपने पूंछ को बढ़ाया खेल खेल में. फिर कौतुक आए कौतुक कहाँ आए पुरबासी. Telling to each other, everybody came to know the Puravasis. Then they came to see the Utsaha or the that thing which is happening of burning Hanumanji's trail. Then Marahi Charana Karai Bahuhasi. They were kicking him with the feet, beating him with the sticks, etc. Then making fun of him, humiliating him. Everything which they can do, they were doing. हनुमान जी देख लिया तेरा भी घर जलाऊंगा like that बात में. But they all came with all what's what kutuhalata to see this one, and they were in fact humiliating him also. अब दुष्ट है, राक्षस है. अब the terrorists, when they capture the hostages, they are rakshasas. They torture them and all, बेचारे. So these terrorists of rakshasas caught hold of Hanumanji, and they were doing all this. Then what happened? Bajai dhol dehi sabatari, all dhol baja baj raha hai. They were all giving the claps also. Then they took him first to entire Lanka Nagari Darshana. Then they gave fire to the tail. After the tail got good fire, then Hanumanji became small, came out of all bodies, again becomes big, then takes the tail and starts burning every house of the Lanka except Vibhishan Ji ka. That portion will see tomorrow. Thank you. Om Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat, Sajjana Shanti Bhapnayat, Shanto Uchched Bandebhyah, Muktaschanyani Mochet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyor Ma Amrutangamaya Om, Purnamada Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachate, Purnasa Purnamada Purnamevavashishyate Om, Shanti 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 Hari Om, Sri Guru Bhyo, Paramashibhyo Parabrahmane, Shrutimatre Namaha, Tatsat Brahma Arpanamastu Om Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai, Geeta Mata ki jai, Vedavyas Bhagavan ki jai, Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai, रामायण महाशास्त्र की जय, वाल्मीकि भगवान की जय, तुलसीदास भगवान की जय. याज्ञवल्क्य वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्य वैशंपायन महासमस ऋषि की जय. कृष्ण यजुर्वेद तैत्तिरीय महाशास्त्र की जय. बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. सतुनाथ महाराज के आज के आनंद की जय. नमः पार्वती पते हर महादेव हर. सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तन गोविंदा गोविंदा. जानकी जीवन स्मरण जय जय राम राम. अम्बे अम्बे श्री आदि पराशक्ति माता की जय. समस्त श्रोता भक्त से उपासक जिज्ञासु धर्म संस्थापक मुमुक्ष मुक्तगण की जय. भारत माता की जय. सनातन धर्म की जय. वैदिक हिंदू संस्कृति की जय. अध्यात्म जीवन विधान की जय. समस्त युवा मंडल की जय. आज के आनंद की जय. थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स. See you tomorrow. Don't miss.